Hi guys, Alex 2.0 here, and I'm going to review Muppets Most Wanted. Um, this movie wasn't very good, in my opinion. I don't I like, you know, when you review these type of movies, you have to say what you thought of the other ones. As a kid, I was a big fan of the Muppet Show. I would watch the reruns on TV all the time when they would be on. I was also a fan of Muppet Babies. If you remember that show, it was a cartoon, and the Muppets are pretty much babies. Um, it was a weird show, but I enjoyed it as a kid. The movies, I really liked the original Muppet movie. Really good movie. Love the songs. Characters are funny. Great cameos. The Great Muppet Keeper wasn't as good, but still some funny parts. A few funny cameos. I did like the story in the movie. Just I didn't find it quite as good as the first one, but still it was a decent sequel. Muppets make Take Manhattan. Really like that one. Funny songs. Again, good cameos. I really like the relationship between Kermit and Miss Piggy. How she wants to marry him and he's unsure, which I'll get to that later. And then the next couple of films were pretty much by Disney. After Jim Henson passed away, sadly, who did the voice of Kermit and some of the other Muppets. Oh, he was also the creator of some of the Muppets. Um, I think the next one was the Muppet Christmas Carol. That was decent. I like Michael Caine as Scrooge. He did a good job. The humor was still pretty funny, and it was I can't say it's the best version of a Christmas Carol, but it was a decent adaptation. Muppet Treasure Island, I thought it was decent as well. Tim Curry, he played the villain. He was pretty funny. The songs weren't. I'll say this: the songs in Muppet Treasure Island and Muppet Christmas Carol, I don't really remember. They're not really as memorable as the songs in the first three films, but those movies are still decent. Muppet Christmas Carol and Muppet Treasure Island. Muppets from Space, I did not care for. I thought it was kind of lame, to be honest. I didn't like the soundtrack choice, and I really didn't care for where Gonzo came from. He's an alien. Okay, what to do? I don't really care. Uh, but I would say the only one thing I liked about Muppets from Space is the Gonzo and Rizzo banter. Those two characters are really funny together. Yeah, they're also together in the last two Muppets films before um, Muppets Christmas Carol and Muppet Treasure Island. They were really funny in those two as well. So uh, out of the second set of trilogy, Muppets from Space was by far the weakest. I still think it's the weakest. I just did not like at all. The cameos were weak. They weren't funny. I mean, I like some of the actors it shows, but it's just the cameos when they appear, it's just dead. Like it just falls flat, to be honest. And that closer, that movie bombed pretty badly. You didn't really see. I mean, the Muppets are still around, and like direct-to-video movies. They had like a Wizard of Oz one. I haven't seen it. I don't think I have. I think I've seen parts of it, but they kind of been like in and out of the mainstream. And then they did the 2011 film, which I fucking loved. I thought it was great. It brought the heart back to the Muppet series. I think Jason Segel did a great job writing. He co-wrote the film, and I could see he had a lot of passion for Muppets, and it shows in the film. Acting wise, it wasn't as good, but he did a good job in writing the film. Him and I forget the other other writer's name. I apologize, but the songs were catchy. They were great. Cameos were hit and miss. Some I liked, some I didn't care for, but I like the plot of how the Muppets have to get back together and save their house, pretty much, their Muppet Studios. It really surprised me how good the film was. I mean, there were a lot of moments where I got choked up. Yeah, I'll say that on camera. Didn't I shouldn't review that movie because I'm reviewing the Muppets Most Wanted, but I really had to talk about this scene. But the new character Walter, he is a big fan of the Muppets. He's a Muppet himself, and that's why he loves it so much. He finally finds things that he fits in with, and the scene where they're trying to convince Kermit to come back. At first, he doesn't want anything to do with it. He wants to move on, and then Walter has the Kermit watch and says, "Kermit, you're my hero. I have you on my watch," and that really got to me. I thought, it's so sad, but it's a really good movie. I'll say it's as good as the first movie. The first one in Muppets 2011 are my favorites of the franchise. So yeah, good movie. Now to this one. I was really worried about this movie because I saw the trailer. I saw, there was I think 2 or 3 trailers I saw. Was not impressed at all. I didn't laugh once. I was worried about the cameos. A few of them, I wasn't really worried about who they got for the cameos. Some were I don't know, but yeah, I mean, the movie, I did not care for the story. How, you get Ricky Gervais, whose name is, I forget what the hell his first name was, but his last name was Bad Guy, so Mr. Bad, It's probably humor or whatever, but then he has a plan where him and this other Muppet who looks like Kermit the Frog, but it's not Kermit the Frog. It's like this, I guess Russian terrorist who has a mole in his face. He's wanted, and they do a switcheroo where he switches with Kermit. Kermit ends up in jail. He puts a fake mole in the Kermit, and that's named Constantine. Yeah, the bad Kermit. He paints his mole green so it gets covered up so they won't tell. And they've devised a plan where they're going to steal diamonds. They're going to use the Muppets just to steal diamonds and get rich. That's pretty much it. One of the few things I didn't like about besides some of the cameos in the 2011 Muppets, was that some of the Muppets didn't get enough screen time. I thought Gonzo didn't get enough screen time. Rizzo was just in the background. He's one of my favorites. Rolf, the dog, he had barely any lines. I mean, some of the lines he does get in the Muppets 2011 were funny when he comes back, but he really doesn't do that much. Some of the other, the only few Muppets who actually get the original Muppets who get screen time were Kermit, Miss Piggy, Fozzie, and Scooter gets pretty good screen. I thought he got pretty good screen time. That's pretty much it. Some of the other ones, and some get some background. Animal also gets some screen time too, so I don't like that. But this movie, they get even less lines and less screen time. And I thought that was a huge mistake. Gonzo, I half the time I didn't notice he was there. Fozzie, he barely gets any lines. He's not in it that much. See, they cut down screen time a lot because the movie is pretty much mostly. I think the new character Constantine, he gets more screen time than all the other Muppets pretty much. I mean, because they go back and forth. I mean, most of the screen time goes to Ricky Gervais, Constantine, Kermit in jail, and Miss Piggy. That's it, and a little bit of Walter as well. But one thing I will say, like I thought it was kind of clever how the last movie ended. This begins, and they say like cut, so it was like they were filming a movie, so the last one is just a movie in their world. It's like kind of confusing, a movie within a movie kind of thing. And so that's why you don't see Jason Segel and Amy Adams' characters come back. So they're just like actors or whatever. The stuff with Kermit, where he's in jail, I thought it could have been funny, but they weren't. I couldn't really get into it. You have Tina Fey as like a Russian guard, pretty much. And I thought she was pretty terrible, to be honest. Her accent was bad. It was bad. And didn't like the cameos in there. At first the inmates think he's Constantine, and then they realize he's not. They're about to kill him, but they don't, and they become friends. I'll get to something stupid Kermit does. Yeah, you have Danny Trejo, Ray Liotta, who appeared in Muppets from Space, and Hornswoggle from WWE. And they're trying to make a play or some crap like that. I don't care. And there's a tiny, because it happened only in one scene, subplot where Tina Fey is in love with Kermit, but that goes fucking nowhere. And that's why she wants him to stay in jail. So she can rape him. I'm just kidding. That goes nowhere. The stuff with Miss Piggy and Constantine, where she thinks he's Kermit and he's like disrespecting her, and then he like woos her, so she falls in love with him, and then he says, "I'll marry you." Oh, like this stuff was kind of funny. Like some of the lines, Constantine, he was like by far the funniest character in this movie, who had the funniest lines. It's like, "I'll marry you, baby." How he says it. He had some funny lines. Ricky Gervais, the villain, was weak. I didn't care for him. I'm not really the biggest Ricky Gervais fan anyway, so it's not that disappointing to say. But whatever. I don't know. I thought Walter in this movie was kind of pointless because all his dialogue could have given to Gonzo or Fozzie. He's the one who suspects, like, Kermit's been acting weird. Like, what's up with him? Because Constantine doesn't even try to even act like Kermit at first, and they're all stupid, so they don't notice at all, except for Walter and Animal. Animal, he attacks him at one point. He's like, "Bad frog. This is bad frog." And there's also a subplot which I thought was actually kind of liked, was Sam the Eagle, who for some reason is not. He's not part of the Muppets. I always thought he was, but he's not. I guess. I don't remember the show 100%, but he's just like a cop, and I believe France. Yeah, they're in France, and he's having like a love-hate relationship with Ty Burrell, who was the actor who was in the Dawn of the Dead. He was the jerk in Dawn of the Dead remake, and he's also in that show Modern Family. They had some funny bits like where the whole badge thing was like, oh, I have a badge, I have a bigger badge, no, I have a bigger badge. Or like when they're interrogating the Muppets because they're suspects in stealing the money or jewelry, what the villains want, and that stuff was kind of funny. But yeah, then Kermit, he escapes because the Walter and Animal, they come and warn him. They find out the truth and they come and warn him, and they all escape by the play they're doing, the inmates, and for some reason Kermit lets all the inmates escape. Like they're actually criminal. I can't fucking say the word. Criminals. They say we murder, we steal, we do this, and Kermit lets them escape. Like, wow, Kermit, that's stupid. So yeah, I mean, but like I said, the Constantine, Miss Piggy stuff, I like, but Miss Piggy wanting to get married, they're just recycling that. They did that already in Muppets Take My Head, and I thought it was a lot funnier. I care more when they did that in Muppets Take My Head. This movie, I was like, again, I'm really doing this again? Really? You guys don't have no other story you can do with Miss Piggy and Kermit? I know the thing about Miss Piggy and Kermit is like, she loves him, he loves her, but not as much as she does with him. She wants to get married and have babies. He just wants to take things slow. I get that, but that was the essence of the relationship. But the whole marriage thing again, like, and they have a wedding, and Frank Langella, he makes a cameo as the priest. I'll see some of the other cameos. They really are not that funny. I like the actors, the cameos. Some of the actors, Frank Langella as a priest, whatever. Who was Christoph Waltz? He makes a cameo as himself. He says one thing I don't even remember. Tom Hiddleston, Loki. He plays one of the inmates as well. I forgot to mention him. But like during like the end, he tries to escape and Tina Fey stops him, and that's it. I can't remember any other cameo. What's his name? Zach Galifianakis. He plays the bum, who was in the last film. So he has one funny line. This is the best wedding ever. I don't know the way he said it, I guess. At the end of the movie. But yeah, I mean, the villain plotline I did not care for. The whole Piggy wanting to get married, I did not care for again. I mean, they're doing that again, really. It was done better in Muppets Take My Head. Come on, guys, seriously. Come up with something new. The whole stuff, all the scenes in jail, I did not care for. They weren't funny. And other Muppets don't do enough. And the songs are forgettable. I don't remember one song. One. And it's really disappointing because the last film, they had a bunch of great songs. In this movie, none of the songs are memorable. At all. I'm gonna wrap this up because, I don't know, I don't feel a little depressed now. Because this was really a weak film. But, I'm done. Adios.